hit tires and see what happens.
Well, it's a gamble. He rolled the dice just then. If he can run real fast right now, everybody else is on used tires, and he would catch a caution, it may put him back in the lead lap.
Let's go to Randy on pit road.
Well, there's a heck of a discussion going on between Dale Earnhardt and Richard Childress. Richard Childress wanted to gamble a little bit and go ahead and pit early like Rusty Wallace had just done moments ago. Try and get a few more laps on fresh rubber, therefore make up some ground on the track and try to reel in Jeff Gordon. Earnhardt said no, does not want that to happen because if he comes down pit road and Gordon stays out there and they catch a caution, he's pretty much done for the win. So they're going to wait for a little while. Earnhardt won that war.
And Hut Strickland had apparently an engine failure. He's gone directly to the garage, as you saw, but the caution flag is not flying as we remain under green. Lap 436 of 500. Here comes Bobby Labonte down the pit lane now. He'll stop at lap 436. All of these are the final scheduled stops of the day. Jimmy Makar and the crew waiting to service the Interstate Batteries Chevy. Randy?
No chassis adjustments that I see so far, just making sure they get all of the fuel in. Catch man holds the catch man with his leg. 4-tire stop around the left sides. Once again, a good clean windshield for this driver. Nice and smooth, no problems on the stop. Down and away. Good stop for these guys.
Ernie Irvan is in. Jimmy Spencer is in. Ted Musgrave making his final stop. There's Ernie, and again a chassis adjustment for that crew.
Well, Chad, what would you do right now? Would you come in and take on fresh tires, or would you stay out there on old tires and maybe lose a lot of ground to the cars that stopped this year?
I think the best thing to do is like we saw earlier. You come in, get the fresh tires early as you can, try to make up a little bit of ground. Why there's a big difference between old tires and fresh tires.
Let's go down to Glenn Jarrett.
I talked to Ray Evernham about what they were going to do. He said, we're not going to do anything until we see some other guys pit. They're just waiting them out. They didn't want to be the first guy to pit, didn't have a caution come out and get caught a lap down. So they can conceivably go to lap 450 with no problem. They're just waiting them out. The car's very consistent time-wise on the racetrack. Now they're finally starting to get ready down here in the 24 pit. We understand that they will be in about 4 or 5 more laps. Terry Labonte has pitted now, and so they were on the radio back and forth. What do we do? What do we do? They're just playing the waiting game, and Gordon is beating them out of them.
Meanwhile, Morgan Shepherd losing his bumper right there. The Remington Arms team going to work, trying to, of course, in the old days, Junior Johnson used to do that by himself. He'd go back there and rip that bumper off. It's taken 3 guys to do it. But Morgan Shepherd with a problem on that car. John Andretti's machine being pushed to the garage area. So he apparently is done for the afternoon at lap 442. And now with the bumper pulled away from Morgan Shepherd, he returns. But it's that long, lonely push to the garage for the Kmart Little Caesars team. And still no Jeff Gordon on pit road. There he is.
I'm sure they're taking times off the cars that stopped just a little while ago, but I would say in a few laps. Here he comes, the suspect.
Here he comes. Johnny Benson right behind him in the Pennzoil Pontiac. Here comes Earnhardt also. Dale's coming down the pit lane right behind Jeff Gordon. Final scheduled stop, lap 444 going up on the board as Gordon crosses start-finish to head to his pit stall. Let's cover the stop as he goes slowly down to the turn 1 end of pit road. Also, Dale Earnhardt is in also. Let's cover both stops.
Well, Gordon Winkler just brought Chevrolet in, guys, and as you said, Eli, should be the last stop. He's very, very happy. This is the first time all day I haven't heard him complain on the radio about how the car is working. Now, let's go to Randy. The left side of Ron Gordon's car. He'll be down in a minute. Randy?
They're just hoping they get a good set of matched tires on the Goodwrench Chevrolet. He's down and away. Excellent pit stop for the Earnhardt crew.
Pressure is on. Those guys are performing as well as their drivers are.
They practice all week long for that situation right there.
Sadler going to the garage area. The Peebles Department Stores entry. His first NASCAR Winston Cup start for Hermie Sadler. Running in 37th spot. Riding with Bobby Hamilton. Jeff Gordon is a bit further ahead there. Saw him go by. 444 laps on the board. Getting down to the nitty-gritty here at the Monster Mile. Can anybody handle Jeff Gordon? Find out when we come back.
Where is he getting these tires from? Look at the wheels on Gordon's car. They're all somebody. They're day-glow colored.
Probably Steve Grissom.
You see them? Look how orange.
Just to show you what that strategy did, if Rusty was to catch a caution here in the next few laps, it put him about 3 seconds ahead of Gordon by getting those tires early. Now, Gordon might eat him up here. We don't know that, but if his chassis was as good as it was before, he might be able to stay in front of him. But that just goes to show you about getting tires 5 to 10 laps prior to.
You report that about Rusty. Yeah. I don't want to mess it up.
Well, Randy, we'll come down to you. Let you do that. Your story. Miles remaining here at Dover Downs International Speedway. The leader is Jeff Gordon. He pitted with a 4.5-second lead over Dale Earnhardt. Now it is 5.5 seconds over Earnhardt, who still is in third. Terry Labonte remains the second place man. Randy Pemberton, let's follow up on tire strategy now that everything's starting to play out. What about Rusty Wallace's early stop? How has that finally figured in?
Well, it definitely played for him, Eli. He got nearly 10 laps out of his new fresh set of rubber that he put on the car over Gordon and Earnhardt. The deal is he's picked up about 3 seconds. He is now back on the lead lap, and that'll give you an idea of what pit strategy is like down there for these guys trying to get some quicker laps out of newer tires. They short pitted the car. They literally had to do that. Gordon and Earnhardt had to go with the strategy that they did as well. But if Rusty could catch a caution, he would be back in the game.
That's the same thing we saw last year when Bobby Hamilton in the fall race here started short pitting against the leader Jeff Gordon, and that forced Ray Evernham to change his pit strategy that day as well. So it's very much a part of this game.
Eli, I see a big piece of paper right in the middle of the grill there on Jeff Gordon's car. I hope it does not run him hot, but it's late in the race here, and anything can happen.
You might have seen him just go by Dale Jarrett also, who's running slowly on the apron of the track. Dale is in 36th position right now after being so dominant early in the day and getting caught up in the oil from a blown engine. Dale Earnhardt, top 5 right now. He's in third. Remember what we talked about earlier? This will be his 7th straight top 5 finish for Dale Earnhardt if nothing changes or anywhere in the top 5.
What do you think? Are we going to get another caution?
I wouldn't think so. No, you never know, certainly.
Exactly. That's what I was fixing to say.
Yeah, you never know.
I see a bunch of cars running side by side out there. Anything can happen at any time. It was a good move on Rusty's part. It was the only way he could get back in the lead lap. It's obvious now that Jeff Gordon has the fresher tires and is making up some ground on Rusty Wallace.
Steve Grissom, a single car incident, brought out a caution, lap 67. Jeff Bodine in traffic, spun coming out of turn number 4 earlier in the day. Rick Mass tried to cut the car too hard to pass Rusty Wallace. And there was debris on the track, and then Dale Jarrett getting into the oil put down by Gary Bradbury. We have had only 38 laps of caution today, and yesterday in the NASCAR Busch Series race, the Goodwrench Delco 200, middle of the day, there were already 45 laps of caution through about 125 laps of racing. So by the overall scheme of things, this has been a very clean one. A lot of folks may not remember, but when Bobby Allison won here in 1971, of course, the speeds weren't blazing like this. But when Bobby won here in 71, that race was caution-free. Not a single yellow through the whole day.
I remember the day well. When I walked in the shower down here, there were 31 drivers on the floor trying to recoup.
I bet. Let's take a look back further now. There's Ernie Irvan. He's running in the 4th position. Ricky Rudd behind him is not on the lead lap, but Ricky is in 8th place for the day. Ricky Rudd.
You know, Ernie's had an up and down day. At one time, he was the fastest car out there. Then he got a little bit off. Then he fought his way back to the front again. But right now, I think his car is just a little bit off, and it's not quite as quick as the lead cars that are running out there right now.
41 miles to go. Ricky Rudd to the inside of Ernie Irvan, not for position. As Ricky climbs a little bit closer towards the front. Ricky Rudd's been coming here since 1976. You might remember that old Chevrolet he drove back in those days. Finished 23rd. Also won 3 times here. You see Jimmy Spencer in the middle of that pack, the 23. Rusty Wallace trying to hang on. Here goes Jeff Gordon to the high side, trying to dispense with the Miller car. Let's go down to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, I was just about to update you on that very thing, Eli. Jeff, after he got out and got running on those new tires, really started reeling Rusty in. And that's the strategy Rusty, but he never got that caution that he wanted. Jeff's car has remained amazingly consistent over the last 100 laps or so. The lap times that I'm timing are very, very close each lap. That's the reason nobody's able to do anything at all with him. Doesn't matter what they do, if Jeff makes a mistake, it's his race to win or lose.
Well, Jeff Gordon's on the way. Chevrolet having a good day right now. The top 3 are members of the bow tie contingent before the first Ford checks in, Ernie Irvan. And you've got Bobby Labonte in the Chevy. Another Ford for Spencer and so on. The front 3 spots right now held down by Chevrolet. For Chevy starting on the pole today also with Jeff Gordon, who if he wins this race, wins from Unocal as part of the Unocal Challenge that rolls over each week.
Ooh, I mean, that was a wreck right there. They just didn't hit anything. Jeff Bodine was on the outside of Rusty Wallace. They made a little bit of contact, and I thought they were on their way to the outside wall.
There's Ernie Irvan. He's just not up to the speed he was earlier. Crew says that there might be a tire problem, or at least, Randy, I guess that's what Ernie might be thinking on the radio.
Yeah, he's really falling off the pace, Eli. He thinks he's got a right front going down. They pulled the binoculars out. Larry McReynolds tried to focus in on it for him. They obviously do not want to bring him in here and lose a lap and a half in the pits trying to change tires, but in the same token, they don't want him to lose one and lose the race car and possibly hurt the driver as well. But Ernie's trying to nurse it right now. But this pit crew is ready for Ernie Irvan.
I'll tell you that Robert Yates bunch has had some kind of luck today, huh? With Dale Jarrett's problems, and now Ernie fearing they might have a tire going down. 35 miles from the finish. Jeff Gordon now working his way around Jimmy Spencer, putting him a lap down.
You got to be tough to do these 500-mile races from up here, hadn't you?
Yes,
huh?
sir.
No pit stops for us.
No. Of course, I got every appendage I own crossed, but... Of course, darn proud that I can do that, too.
Oh, me. Is the pits? No, don't open the pits. We don't need that.
Actually, we're going to be on pace for one of the shortest Dover races.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's got to be a record.
We're going to be looking at about, not even the 4 hours yet.
Wow. That means I'll be to bed tonight by 7 o'clock.
Has Gordon had a good car today or what?
Yeah, boy.
Aaron, huh?
You see how he's driving it, though. He never makes a mistake. mistake when he really gets out there and starts charging in. Looks like you last year. Now you run last year. That's what he's doing right now. It makes it easy.
Does make it easy when everything's right.
Yeah.
It is a DuPont kind of day here in Dover, Delaware. Corporate headquarters just up Highway 13 in Wilmington, Delaware. The car is leading, and the chief mechanic, Ed Guzzo. Turn around, Ed. There you are. He is the Western Auto mechanic of the race today. Ed Guzzo picking up a couple $1,000 from the folks at Western Auto as the Western Auto mechanic of the race. Our congratulations to him. One of those guys behind the scenes, another New Jersey guy. That knew Ray Evernham in Ray's formative years. They've got this car on a rail.
It is definitely on a rail. It's a delight to see a car work that well. I just wish I had more of them.
What's the best race car you ever had on a given day?
Well, probably a couple times last year, one at Rockingham, one at Charlotte. It's just one of those days that the better the car handles, the easier it is to drive. I mean, there's no question about that. When a car is right, that's the easiest day you'll ever have.
How about you, buddy? What's the best race car handling and everything you ever had and all of your victories and so on?
Anyone that got the checkered flag in front of it. I had so many good race cars. It would really be talking about one of my crew chiefs or one of my car owners. If I said it wasn't the best, they would say, well, what about the time you won by 7 laps or 2 laps? Or what about the time you won on the last lap past the guy? They're all special.
Let me show you what the interval looks like right now on the racetrack. There you see Jeff Gordon, the race leader, going off into turn number 1. You've got the 5 machine right there, Terry Labonte. He's running in the 2nd spot. Then we'll go back to the next man in spot. That'll be Dale Earnhardt. He's running in 3rd as we pull back from Terry, and you'll see the interval as the GM Goodwrench machine comes through. There he is. Ernie Irvan is next in line behind Dale Earnhardt. Ernie running in the 4th spot. You got to go a goodly distance back now to find the Texaco Havoline Ford. There it is. That's your top 4. Ahead of Bobby Labonte, Jimmy Spencer, Rusty Wallace, Mickey Rudd, Jeff Burton, and Kenny Schrader. That is your top 10. We're coming back. The checkered flag is in sight. Don't leave us. We're 23 laps on the finish.
Who is smoking?
19, real bad, in case you...
Take a trickle.
Boy, would that be something if the caution comes out now.
Yes, it would. I would like to see that.
Yeah, because you're up here.
Well, because it'd make a better race for the fans at home.
It would.
Stay out, Dick. Come on. Yes, they are.
That's got to be putting something on the racetrack. Something else coming out of the car to make it a little tricky for the guys behind.
Boy, I bet some of these boys are getting tired.
Yeah,
It's been a long time since that last... Winding our way down to the final 18 miles here at Dover Downs International Speedway. Jeff Gordon has had the lead since lap 371. We are now at 482. Everybody waiting, watching. If you're in the 24 bunch, you're tickled. If you're not, you don't know what you can do to handle it. There you see a field summary. Jimmy Spencer, a lap down. That would be his best finish of the year. Of course, Jimmy's got 2 wins in his career in Winston Cup, but he had a 7th-place finish at Atlanta earlier in March. So this would be a best of the year for Jimmy Spencer. They've had a good run today in that Smokin' Joe's car.
Good steady run, and you know, a few breaks here and there, and he might be in the lead lap with a chance to win.
He's been up there all day. That's what's important.
Next to be lapped, the 5th-place man, Bobby Labonte. And Jeff Gordon's got him in the crosshairs right about now. There you see, 18 is on the left of your screen, the Interstate Batteries car. That's the man who wants to put him a lap down.
Ray Abraham right now is just telling Jeff to take it easy. There's only 14 laps to go. You take your time now and don't do anything silly.
Going to catch a little traffic.
Eli, I've actually been in a situation like this and back off the race car and let it get a cleaner line through the corner and actually pick up speed by backing off and letting the car free roll through the corner instead of pushing it so hard.
Interesting. Kind of like a road course sometimes. The slower you drive, the faster you go.
That's it. I'm sure right now all he wants to do is win the race, but the car is working so flawless that he probably don't want to get out of his rhythm and get a little bit sloppy in his driving style.
Around Mike Wallace they go. Mike Wallace in 19th spot, 5 laps down, now 6 laps down as Gordon goes around him. 14 miles from the finish. And there goes Bobby Labonte. 5th place is now a lap down. Kind of reminds me of Harry Gant's run here a few years ago. Remember, he lapped everybody once and up to 5th place twice that afternoon. Remember that one?
Yeah, but at least when Harry had this dominant car, he was running up against the wall and he was going, he's going to hit the wall this time. No, he made it.
There you see Jimmy Spencer now and Terry Labonte. Spencer going a lap down a short while ago. Labonte still running in second. Jimmy gives him a little room. 12 miles from the finish. 488 on the board now. This will be one of the quicker 500-mile races at Dover. Over the years, many of these events have gone 4.5 and closer to 5 hours. And this has been a clean event, and it's moving right along. The quickest one we ever had was Bill Elliott's win in 1990 in September at 3 hours and 58 minutes. We're a bit over that mark when we get to the finish, but we'll be darn close to it.
Eli, we're overlooking one thing. At a race this long where you don't have time to relax under a lot of caution, you get a lot of fatigue and you make mistakes that you don't normally make when you're not really tired.
But doesn't the second wind kick in right about now when you see 10 laps to go?
Jeff Gordon, yes. If you're running a lap down, nothing changes. The lead car, that adrenaline really runs through you. But if you're back here and you're not gaining anything, no positions or anything, it's just another lap after lap after lap.
What's that old saying? Unless you're the lead horse in the train, the view never changes?
That's it.
Something like that. 491 on the board, and they are refusing to lose. Jeff Gordon trying to work himself up again. Last year, this race, 4th in points coming in.
Oh boy.
Today, 4th in points coming in.
I bet Hendricks is saying, you know, I finally got it all right. These 2 cars are really flying around this racetrack.
There you have Rusty Wallace trying to chase down Jimmy Spencer. That would be for position. Spencer, you see, in 6th. Rusty is in 7th. Taking his car to the garage, done for the day with a rear end problem on the Health Source entry. Couldn't quite make it to the finish for the man who started outside of the front row. Again, Rusty closing in on Spencer, has 7 miles to catch him.
Rusty's car has been very fast, remember, as the later stages of his tires.
Meanwhile, though, Jeff Gordon continues to show the way. It'll be 5 laps to go next time for Jeff Gordon. This is Jeff's 7th career start here at Dover Downs. In the 6 previous starts, 1 win, 2 top 5s, and 3 top 10 finishes. So he's done himself quite proud here.
That's incredible. It really is. These guys are such a great team, and when they go to Dover, I mean, they have notes from last year when they did win here that they could use again this year, and boy, that pays off.
Looking for his 13th career victory. There again is battle for position between the 23 Spencer and the 2 Rusty Wallace. Dale Earnhardt, who you see there in the 3, he is on the lead lap in 3rd spot. And now he'll act as the buffer for the moment between Spencer and Wallace, who are battling a lap down. 4 miles to go.
I'm a little surprised that Rusty didn't put up more of a fight for there, but Rusty must be figuring the last few laps. And
when these tires start giving up, you can only do so much, and I'm sure he's sliding and doing all he can. But, you know, Spencer's not an easy guy to catch. He knows where he's at on the racetrack, and I'm sure his spotter says, hey, the 2 cars coming, do what you can do.
Only 4 cars on the lead lap as we near the finish. Gordon, Terry Labonte, Dale Earnhardt, and Ernie Irvan back up front to Jeff Gordon. He has worked himself around through traffic with no problems now. This would be his 4th win of the year if he holds on. He has won at Richmond, he won at Darlington, he won at Bristol Raceway in Tennessee, which is now Bristol Motor Speedway, by the way. They announced that with new ownership from Bruton Smith, as you well know. They changed the name. Oh, problem, clean straightaway. Kenny Wallace will spin across the start-finish line. The Square D machine.
No caution.
499 going up on the board. White flag for the race leader, Jeff Gordon. Wallace continues away. There you see him.
Kenny just barely scraped the inside wall, so they didn't bring a caution out.
And we are now a half mile from the win. Jeff Gordon. It'll be the 8th win of the year for Chevrolet. And the 13th career victory for Jeff Gordon out of Pittsboro, Indiana. He will win the Miller 500. Terry Labonte will come home in 2nd. Dale Earnhardt 3rd. Ernie Irvan 4th. And a lap down, Bobby Labonte will come home in the 5th spot. Jimmy Spencer holds off Rusty Wallace to take 6th. Ahead of Wallace in 7th. And $38,000 of a bonus going to Jeff Gordon. He wins this race from the Busch pole and takes home the Unocal Challenge. When we come back, we'll go to Victory Lane. Hope you can go there with us. Stick around as we return to Dover right after this.
About you with 5 laps to go, like
Yeah, boy.
just like that next week. You did a good job. You need to put those back on and say goodbye to everybody there.
Oh, he's going with me. He's not running anywhere. Chad's riding to the airport with us.
Oh, okay.
So he's not going
Well,
anywhere.
I seen him take his headset off, and
He's
I
just
knew you
letting
wanted to say
He's letting his
adios,
ears
liberdirty,
wear out.
ciao. Eli, you had to work today, bud.
Yeah, we did. That was a tough one today. But safe, and I don't care who wins, so that was fine.
It might have been a different day, though, if Dale Jarrett hadn't had problems.
Yeah, could well have been.
But they don't write books about what could have been.
No. Those are called fairy tales.
I wonder what spun Kenny Wallace there at the
I
end.
don't know.
I saw a car, but I really didn't get into it because I was looking to see where Gordon was at. Good girl, ma'am. Uh-oh, where's the glasses? $5 grand.
40 seconds to yes. How you feel, man? Feel good? 30 seconds. Goodbye, baby. Yeah.
It's good, Chad.
Oh, thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, you did.
Could I see you more today, buddy?
Yes, sir. That.
A happy bunch of folks down in Victory Lane here at Dover, Delaware. The Miller 500 goes to that young man, Jeff Gordon. Let's hear from him. Glenn Jarrett's in the middle of the celebration. Glenn?
Well, he's got to do a little victory dance, first of all. Jeff, we monitored a lot of your radio conversations today. Let Brooke in here. Of course, this is the most important part. And I know how tough it was. The car came to you for a while. It would go away. Just one of those up and down days. But, boy, right at the end, she was awesome.
Well, you know, we made a decision. We'd gone 10 laps on tires. We said anytime we go 10 laps on tires that we're going to pit. And, you know, Ray made the right decision, just got us behind. And once we got behind, the car was pushed and it was loose. It was everything but perfect. And then those guys busted off a stop, got me out front, and the car was perfect from there on. So I figured, hey, I just need to be up front is all it is. But, you know, it took us a little while to get back up there. But, again, we're here in DuPont country. It's really good to have that DuPont Automotive finish at Chevrolet right here in Victory Lane, man.
What about when you got a car that's that good, you can take it pretty much, you're clearly better than the rest of the field in the last 100 miles or so, maybe 150. You're out front. Do you start to hear gremlins?
Oh, yeah. You know, I mean, all I was waiting for was a caution, and I thought for sure there was a caution. Once we got inside 10 laps, I thought we were pretty good, but, you know, you never know in this business. I mean, NASCAR racing, anything can happen, and, you know, luckily it went all the way. We were hoping that it would.
Well, it was a lot more than luck. They had a perfect race car. Now, John Boy, I want to tell you something. If you're listening, I'm not going to try to kiss Brooke today, and if you didn't pick Jeff Gordon, you missed another one. Let's go to Randy.